This is a quick overview video of your Qwest 818 CTR with the Minn Kota eDrive. Underneath the rear seat is the battery charger. The normal procedure for charging these batteries is when you get ready to charge the batteries after you've used the boat, you want to trip the circuit breaker here that's mounted to the seat. So that will isolate out the motor so that there's no risk of damaging the motor if you were to turn the key on while the charger is plugged in. So we recommend you push the red button, trip the breaker, and then when you plug in the charger, you'll notice all the lights flash. All the lights flash, and then it will go to the charging section, which is the amber lights. They're solid amber, and then they'll, depending on the state of charge, I've obviously had it on charge, but they will go to the flashing amber, and then after a while they will go to flashing green, which is in the next row up, that's known as full charge, 0 to 1 amps. The top row of lights says check connection on it. That will let you know if there's an issue with one of the fuses that is on each battery charger leg, and each battery is numbered with a corresponding charge lead. And then inside these fuse holders here, there's a 30 amp fuse. If that fuse is to blow on any of these batteries, you will see a red light here on the charger. The other thing that can happen, especially with battery number 1, which is known as the house battery, which is actually what feeds the boat itself, not the motor side of things, but the boat itself, or in addition to the motor, it does the boat. It does all the power on the dash, the lights, all that kind of thing. If you were to leave a light on, or a fish finder on, any of that stuff that's on the dash, it will draw down battery 1, and then when you go to charge it, if it's, below 8 volts, the charger will not output to that battery, and you'll have a check connection light. So what you'd have to do in that situation is put a separate charger on battery 1 to bring it back up, and then you can plug in your main charger again to get back in business. So the other things that are in this compartment is the battery switch, which this turns off the power to the boat. Again, not the motor, but just to the boat. So if you wanted to get in the habit of turning that switch off, and it's hard to see, but there's a red area right there, that's off. When the switch is side to side there, that is the on position. There's a green section there. If you got in the habit of turning this switch off and tripping the breaker and then plugging in the charger, you should never have an issue with leaving a light on or any of that kind of stuff, because that will kill all the power to the dash. The other thing that's next to it there's a main fuse holder for the boat. That is the power that feeds the dash. So if nothing on the dash works, check that fuse. These batteries, they're all installed in series. So what you basically have is, this is your main motor lead feeding over to your circuit breaker, and then the lead from the motor goes to the other side of the circuit breaker and out to the motor. So basically there's a lot of wires in here, and we don't recommend that you take the batteries out for the winter or anything like that. We would like these batteries to stay in the boat for at least 4 or 5 years when they go bad, and then install a new set of batteries and rewire it. So we don't recommend changing any of this wiring on a seasonal basis, because it's just not something that a lot of people can do. So when you're done charging it, there is a holder for the plug right here on the front wall. So you'll go in, then you will push that yellow lever closed. That's the normal run position. Then you can go over to your Minn Kota control here, and when you turn that on, you will see the what they call the fuel gauge, or the battery gauge, is all the way up on full. You're at 99.9 hours of runtime. As you throttle up the motor, that will decrease, and when it's in the water, it will obviously go down dramatically more, but it should give you 2 to 4 hours of runtime depending on throttle setting. The slower you go, the more runtime you're going to get. The other thing that is here is the tilt, which there is a gauge on the dash here for the tilt, and in order to make that gauge operate, you have to have this lower accessory switch on. So that also will turn on this voltmeter here. So just again, make sure you turn that switch off when you're done using the boat. Top switch over here is the horn. Navigation lights is to the left. Anchor light is to the right. Make sure that switch is off in the middle. Courtesy light turns on this light on the side of the dash. Then you have an accessory switch up top that's not hooked to anything. You have a stereo switch, which turns on the power to the stereo and also to this USB port that's under here. To then make the stereo operate, you hit the power button and turn that on, and it's a radio and Bluetooth receiver. And if you hit the mode button, you can go through the different settings to connect your phone to that for Bluetooth. And then make sure you turn that switch off when you're done. And then you have 2 more accessory switches down here on the bottom that are not connected to anything either. They're for options if you needed to put anything else on the boat. On the left side of the wheel is 2 more USB ports. Those are powered all the time, and you can then put your phone in this ram mount here. There's a thumb screw you can loosen and move this around if need be. The wheel also has a tilting feature, so if you push this button forward, you can then tilt the wheel down to fit you best. And then the Garmin Fish Finder GPS unit is built into the dash there as well. Just have to set up a couple settings on it quick. Okay, so that's the main screen that you'll normally see. If you just hit this check mark, it will then go to the main depth screen showing you water depth, temperature, water temperature, and battery voltage. So, and then you hit the back arrow, you can go through different menus here. There is a GPS feature in here. You can go through all that. There's a book for this in the owner's package, and that's probably the best way to learn about this. And then to shut it off, there's a power button down the bottom, and the screen will go black on that. The seat has a couple different levers here, one to slide the seat forward and back, one for the rotation of the seat, because the seat is locked in the straight position, which is a requirement, while traveling in the boat. So you have to lift the lever to rotate the seat. Underneath the right front seat is the, I'm not sure why my focus is a little here, but you have SOS flag, flares, anchor rope, throw cushion. Also your table is there, and the table leg, and then the adjustable paddle boat hook combination. The table base does not come mounted in the boat, and we kind of let you decide where you want that. It's a stainless steel plate that's in the owner's manual pack